Hello and welcome to Billy Ho Sports. You are tuned into another Breeders' Cup podcast. Today we're just going to dive into the Future Stars Friday. The juveniles, fillies, and horses alike. This episode, we are going to be exploring the up-and-coming 2-year-olds in the world. Maybe we see some future Derby runners. Before we get started, I just wanted to remind everybody, plenty of collection of Breeders' Cup videos out there to choose from on my channel, so be sure to check that out. Let me remind you, not only that, I do DFS content for golf and football. So thank you for joining me. I want to get this rolling. So hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, leave us a comment, and let's go. Okay, we are on the big page. So we got free past performances for you. So you can't beat that. You ought to throw out a like, a super chat, super thanks, whatever. Teasing. But here we go. Race number 5 will start us off tomorrow. And it's going to be the Juvenile Turf Sprint. So that's 5.5 furlongs for the fastest. I believe this is for 2-year-olds. So we are going to get into them. When it comes to the youngsters, it's really hard to predict. So I always lean toward trusting the trainer to have the horse ready. Trainer George Weaver has 3 top horses in this race. He's a 32% winner with the 2-year-old crop. So we got to include the number 1 Crimson Advocate. And No Way Mets, I recently saw ran a very good race here at this Rosie's Stakes at Colonial Downs. So moving up in class, but I think can handle that just fine. And I don't know how soon class kicks in, but juveniles are juveniles. So 2-year-olds are a lot younger. So that, that breeding hasn't really shown up, in my opinion. I think anybody can be beat anytime, a lot of times. So Tiger Bell, I'm not thinking a whole lot of, but the number 4 is Big Evs. I believe Michael Appleby. This is going to be your favorite, but I'm going to try to beat it this time because I do believe there's another one further down. So I like it. Kelsey Danner has a nice rapport with the juveniles, and that leads us to number 7 Shards as kind of a live longie. So I think the 88 was okay, third by a neck. I mean, it was inside rally, just needed more, and that was at Keeneland. So I think 17% trainer for sprints. Kelsey Danner, you could do worse. So I do believe I had a bet planned here, and I think I got somewhere in the neighborhood of trifecta bet. And I think I left out the 9. I missed Waves is George Weaver's other horse. Flavian Pratt, highest last race rating and whatnot. So it is going to be a failed favorite, beaten by a weaker. I don't like to see that kind of stuff, but these 2-year-olds can bounce back just fine. And that was the first off of a layoff. So eligible to improve. So I do like the 9. So I was going to go 1, 2, 9 on top. And then that is, I believe, the 3 George Weavers. And then I think the next up I had 1, 2, 4, 7, 9. So that's Big Evs. And Shards is in there. And then it's 1, 2, 4, 7, 9. So that kind of trifecta. I'll put it up what it costs. So that's where I'm at. And it's No Way Mets is probably the pick to win. So we'll leave it at that. Head over to race 6, which is for the juvenile fillies. We're going a mile and a 16th on the dirt. Richard Mandela's Tamara looks much the best. Will be tough to beat, but I'm checking out Todd Pletcher. He and Brad Cox both excelled this season with the 2-year-old crop. So I watched some videos. I watched Candied winning the Alcibiades Stakes at Keeneland, showing stamina needed to get the distance, and the inside post is both good things for her. Then there was two that ran in the Frizette Stakes at the Belmont Big A. That was number 11 Life Talk. And I believe the 12 is Bill Mott's Just FYI. Those were the three top ones. I think I do like Brightwork some too. Uh, we'll kind of pan through this real quick. I know I'm kind of bouncing around a little bit more than usual, but like Candied, I thought looked pretty good. Not feeling any of these two. Where's my ring? No thanks. Omaha Girl, no thanks. This one's interesting. Chitalis is Mark Glatt. This one, high percent jockey, won its last race, 92, and a grade 2 win at a mile and a 16th. So I like that one. I think when it's sire is Gun Runner, I always take notice. So I will be looking at the 6. Of course, obviously the 7th, Tamara. 9, Brightwork. And then you have the 11 and the 12. Those two. I will try to beat Tamara. 50-cent trifecta, 1, 7, 11, 12. Then over 1, 7, 9, 11, 12. 1, 7, 9, 11, and 12. That's $24 ticket. So you're talking the George Weaver horses, some Todd Pletcher, Bill Mott, all those guys I trust. Looking good for that race. Moving on, race 7. And it's Juvenile fillies for the turf. 1 mile for $1 million. And I think my top choice is either going to be 11 She Feels Pretty or Porta Fortuna. This is a race where some of these you're probably going to want to look for international horses, and some of them not so much on the turf. But I think this might be one to look at some international horses. And I believe, let's see, La Lune, I think, is one I might have some interest in as a long shot. Porta Fortuna was the one I think I will land on top. Then we go down a little further. It's a 2-turn mile is a different test for her. But I think with the connections, I think they're all right with it. So we'll roll there. Life's an Audible, not bad. Irad Ortiz and Todd Pletcher could be interesting pairing there. Austere, I think I might have read a little bit about Tyler Gaffleone and Brendan Walsh. Not too bad either. 83 and back-to-back wins. Has not tasted defeat yet, so it could be interesting. But I do like She Feels Pretty. Sherry DeVoe, really like her as a trainer. Johnny V aboard. So I think they can get after it in this one. And the win by 4 lengths at the Natalma grade 1 was good enough. Hard to justify. Chad Brown's way down here. You always take notice on the turf with Chad Brown. So I will include that one just, as a caution. And actually what I'm going to do with the bet here is this is going to be leg 1 of a pick 3. And I'm going 6, 8, 11, and 12. So you see those two. She Feels Pretty, hard to justify. And then I believe Life's an Audible and Porta Fortuna. So those are the ones I'm looking at there. There are some other long shots. Number 5, Content, upset some Group 1s last out. That was on soft ground, so I don't think that it's going to get the same trip out at Santa Anita. And then, like I said, Lalin makes the American debut after racing pretty well in France. Sometimes they overlook the French connection as far as international shippers. So I always kind of look out for that. And so we'll roll with that. 6, 8, 11, and 12 for leg 1 of a pick 3. All right. We are getting to some good stuff now. This will be the grade 1 BC Juvenile. The ones you will be looking for coming up, future Derby trailers. So let's take a look. We'll spend a little bit more time on these than the other ones, and I will get out of here. Prince of Monaco's interesting, but I think it comes down to three horses. There'll be horses like Prince of Monaco, Bob Baffert, who can go wrong there. A lot of good things to say. He's got a triple digit equibase, so that's pretty good. But did has not raced in just a little bit, 54 days. That's not bad. Wind Me Up, probably not going to get there for me. Timberlake is one of the ones I think out of the big three, I guess you want to call it, where you have Timberlake, Locked, and Muth. Timberlake might be the most overlooked. It is ranked third, but it did win this Champagne Grade 1 by 4.25 in the slop going a mile. So I think that might translate over to the turf. Or no, I'm sorry. This is the Juvenile mile and the 16th. I'm thinking about the last race for some reason. Locked, I just recently watched win his Futurity at Keeneland, and it was a pretty good race. They had to get on him down the stretch a little bit, but Gun Runner is the sire, so you can't go wrong with going with that. And Pletcher and Jose Ortiz, nice little combo there. Then horses like Cuban Thunder, as I'll probably pass on, beaten by Weaker. General Partner, not bad. It's got a triple digi here, but that's in a maiden, so a lot less competition. Chad Brown, trainer, so keep an eye on this one down the road. Fierceness, I don't think so, but there's Muth, Bob Baffert. And the reason you would side with this, the triple digits, the win at Santa Anita just last month. So in American Pharoah, over horses that are in this race. So you do have to take notice of that. So I will. This is going to be leg 2 of the pick 3. So it is going to just be 4, 6, 10. So I am going to go Timberlake, Locked, and Muth for my 3 up top. I think that's the way you go. I think you just box those 3 and hope for the best in an exacta or something of that nature. Or you just put it all on a win bet on the best value. That's always a good idea. So leg 3 is the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf. We're going a mile. River Tiber, Aiden O'Brien's, is going to be the first choice, most likely favorite. Colts stretching out to a mile and is 2 turns, but the confident from Aiden O'Brien eases my concerns. There are a couple of closers, number 8, Endlessly, and number 14, Karan's Run, will be running late. I like Tok Tok as a live longie, adding the blinkers, and I think that will get it closer than this 10.5 back most of the race. You can see it rallied to 5th, going a mile into 16th here in the Bourbon. So I think maybe if it gets a little closer to the pace this time around, Grand Motion can have a pretty good run. Johnny V is going to have his second ride on the horse. So only beaten by 2 lengths in the last start, even though it finished 5th. So keep that in mind. My boy Prince is going to be the front runner, probably setting the pace. So I don't know that that's going to hold. But Mark Cassie as a solid trainer in his own right. Stay Hot and Agate Road. I think I'll pass on these 2. Agate Road might be interesting, but the speed figures are just not quite there. 80 is not enough. I think you need closer to 90. If you look up here, River Tiber doesn't have speed, so figures listed. So we'll just get down here unquestionable. Endlessly, all solid horses. Endlessly got the 90 and the highest last race speed rating. Mike McCarthy, I like that. So I do have some interest, but I didn't land in the leg 3 bet. I got 2, 3, 6, 8, and 14. So if we go up top here, and that's River Tiber, And then the 3 horse is Talk Talk for a long shot. You never know. Round out of pick 3. The 6 is Stay Hot. That's another long shot. I might have that wrong, actually. That I think maybe the 7 Agate Road was the one I had, and I wrote 6 down on accident. So I apologize for that. I do believe it's going to be 2, 3, 7, 8, 14. Unquestionable is Aiden O'Brien. And then down here at 14, I think was the interesting one. Carson's Run, I think, can close in this grade 1. Solid performance there, 88 speed rating. And Christopher Clement, I do dig him on the turf. So he is a guy that I will be getting after. So that'll cover it. Friday Future Stars, be on the lookout. Hope you enjoyed the show. Coming up, I'm doing a Breeders' Cup Classic kind of final analysis. We'll go through the past performances and we'll narrow down a winner. I've got it's not a surprise winner, but it is an interesting one to say the least. So until the next video, see you soon.